Myles Kennedy, alter bridge. Wow, what an incredible vocalist. Great range, great power, lots of discernment. He's doing some difficult things, but it always seems understated, and everything he does really serves the songs he sings. That's the mark of a truly seasoned vocalist. And if you've watched my video on this channel on singing clean throughout your whole range, that's going to be a huge help as we discuss some of the things Myles does. And if you want help developing your own voice, becoming more confident, more powerful, more rangy, be sure to click the link below and join my free vocal course. A lot of you have asked for this video recently, and I'm excited to bring it to the channel. I'm going to do this one a little bit differently, in a slightly different format. I'm still figuring out which format I like the best and what complies most with the good graces of YouTube. So I've got several snippets, several short lines that I'm going to not only evaluate, but I'm going to sing. And I'm going to show us how to get there with our own voices. We can't possibly sing exactly like Myles Kennedy. That's not the point. The point is to bring some of what he does, be inspired by it, and put it in our own voices. Get ideas. Much like a guitar player learns a lick. You know, you learn a Jimmy Page lick and then you put it in your own music. That's what we're going for here. Here we go. Fight the fight alone. So Myles has this way when he sings low in his primary chest resonance. He's always holding back a little bit of air. And if you've seen my video on compression, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's not fight the fight alone. He's got this fight the fight alone. Fight the fight alone. What I mean by holding back air is that he's pushing here more than he's letting out as he sings. It's that kind of thing if you're to do it really extreme. Fight the fight alone. I like to do extremes to illustrate how people are doing things, but it's not that extreme. It's artfully there. Fight, not fight the fight alone. That's really vanilla, and it's loud and fight the fight alone. But it's more than just singing quieter. Fight the fight alone, because that creates this wimpy sound, which is good in some ways, but he's able to be present and powerful even when he's singing low. Authoritative may be a better word. Fight the fight alone. And that's by using compression even in his lower notes. Really neat. And it won't be long, and it won't be long. Now, as he gets higher in his range, he does push more. He's using more volume. He's continuing to use lots of compression. And he ends up holding back more air, and he does a really good job of thinking down on notes. And it won't, you don't hear him doing that. And it won't, he's not reaching up to that note. And it won't be long. Hear the difference? And it won't. I'm actually thinking down on the note, which is something that good vocalists do quite a bit, because it alleviates the strain of trying to inch up to it. And even in that note, he's starting to access a bit of mix. And it won't. It's not this, and it won't. It's not that. There's a little bit of that bright mix going on that we've covered in other videos. And it won't. Obviously, that's the raw. Now, there's two ways to get there, right? Ah, and oh, yawn or dying cat, right? We've talked about this before. And it won't. But then combining that with a healthy push and a healthy bit of chest resonance, we're able to get there. And it won't be long, and it won't be long. Now there's one more thing he's doing in there. He's got this little squeak afterward, which is super awesome. And it won't be long, and it won't be long. Takes a minute to dial it in. I'm practicing dialing in right now. And it won't be wrong place. And it won't be long. Bad pitch. Try it again. And it won't be long. There it is. So, if we're going from a mainly chest, barely mixed sound on that won't, what we want to do is let ourselves break for just a second. Won't be long. And then come back into it. That's a really artistic thing that several vocalists do, but he's doing it really subtly. That's what I meant about him being able to do these things that are difficult and cool, but they're so understated. And it won't be long, if I'm exaggerating it a little bit more, which we have to do when we're inserting stuff into our voice. You know, look at me, look at me. Practice it in different ways. Look at me, look at me. Choose a different phrase, right? Next. With memories of all that I am. What a great line. Let's break that one down. He is very much in mix here. Mem! And it's clean. Memories! Take it really slow once you've accessed your mix. And again, if you need help accessing your mix, I've done lots of videos on the channel about this, and I lay the groundwork in my free vocal course. With Mem! He's clean. Now, he's clean and he's also bright. We want to be bright, but we want to start to access this pitch with our yawn. To ensure that we can be clean. And then adjust our voice box positioning so that we can get the right tone out of it, our built-in tone control. With memories! Now that's hard. Memories! Doing those different vowels. So you have to make sure that you're dialing in your support, that you're pushing. I start to push more on the E! Start to push more there so that I'm able to compensate for the fact that there's just by default, E is a more closed vowel. So I'm having to modify my compression a little bit with memories of. Now, all that I am. He really opens up there and takes advantage of that ah vowel. Oh! Really, really cool. Now, you can hear there's quite a bit of compression here. He's the master of glottal compression or vocal compression and being able to maintain cleanliness while he does it. It's not, oh! He's not reaching for it with a scream. He's keeping it clean. And that's part of what makes his vocals so cool. All that I am. When you're learning these lines, and this is how I've worked on learning lines and putting them into my own singing, my own songs, and doing stuff live. This is how I've done it with these little snippets, slowing them way down, focusing on one note, one vowel at a time. Oh, all that, all that I am. That's a great thing to practice. It helps you dial in your mix. It's a great little phrase. It's got good open vowels. Good job, Myles. Moving on. Look Looking back, I clearly see. Now, this is similar to our earlier low voice example, but he's adding an extra component here. He's adding a little bit of whisper sound. So, again, he's doing this so that he can bring the authoritative nature of his voice out, even though he's singing quietly. It's not, looking back, I clearly see. That's cool, but it's not what he's doing. And in the earlier example, it was more like this. Looking back, I clearly see. Adding a bit of compression, using his support system, but holding back air. Looking back, I clearly see. Now, here, he is adding a bit of that look. And practice speaking it first. Look. Now add more air. Look. Looking back. And then add tone to it. Looking back, I clearly see. Looking back, I clearly see. As opposed to, looking back, I clearly see. Still holding back air, but no whisper sound. Looking back, I clearly see. You have to be careful with this technique. If you do it too long, like whispering, you will burn your vocal cords out a little bit. John Mayer does this a lot, and he does it to the point where if I were doing it like he does it, I would get tired really quickly. Looking back, I clearly see. But if you listen to what Myles does in context, he doesn't do this a lot. He chooses certain phrases to bring this out. Another subtlety of his voice, which is just fantastic. Moving on. Will it ever change? Ooh. Will it ever change? Will it ever change? Now here, will. Listen to his will. Will it ever change? Will. I'm exaggerating it, but he brings his voice up to it. Will, not quite from Fry, but will. And now listen to ever. So he connects will and it, and then he has a hard onset. That's what it's called. We don't really care, but it sounds cool. He's not doing will it ever change. Another cool subtlety that brings out his phrasing choices and makes what he does unique and powerful in the moment. Will it ever change? And then he's got that whisper thing on change. Will it ever change? Will it ever change? 3 really cool key things going on in this one line. Will it ever change? This takes a phenomenal amount of air control. Watch my video on compression. It'll help you a lot with this. He's a master of compression. Will it ever change? Will it ever change? Exaggerating, but you want to exaggerate to bring some of this into your voice. It's not about sounding exactly like him. It's about learning some of the things that he's doing and putting it in our own voice. Will it ever change? There's a lot of air on change, way more, even though it's lower. Cool stuff. And I know that day will come. And I know that day will come. Now here, he's doing what I like to call throwing my voice. And I know. So I start there, and I know. And then it's almost like a really fast siren. And I know. I'm exaggerating it. And I know that day will come. He's doing this too. You can hear it. It's just happening really fast. And I know that day will come. It's a cool way to make a note glow. That's kind of the way I like to look at it. Again, compression is present here. And I know. It's this real subtle slide. And in addition, he's opening his throat a ton and making that vowel dark, which contrasts. And I know that day will come. And I know that day will come. Subtle stuff really makes the singer. And our last example. What a wonderful drill. What a wonderful phrase to get lost in. Going from a pure head resonance. Just hold that. Let that sink in. Be musical with it. It's clearly an ooh. Now, when he's going down, he's not trying to hide his break. He's not doing, like, oh! That actually wasn't that great. Let me try again. Oh! He's not mixing. He's freely resting in that, and then chesting it up when he gets down to that lower note. And when you're learning this and working on it, I wouldn't even worry if you hear the break. It's kind of cool sounding. Add a lot of things around it. Experiment. This out of all of them, because there's no words. It's just a fun one to experiment with. Start low. Learn what he's doing, that little tiny bit, be inspired by it, and make it your own. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I plan to do many more. Let me know what you think of this format versus some of the other formats I've done with the sing-like videos. I look forward to your feedback. See you for more.